Welcome to the full and free complete tutorial on how to make a YouTube video all using your iPad. In this guide, I'll be covering how to shoot, edit, and upload a YouTube video, as well as how to create an intro bumper, the best gear for creating with your iPad, and so much more. We'll even take time and answer some questions from our Think Media community, but I am so pumped to get into this full training. And so make sure you grab your journal, grab your iPad, grab some coffee, and let's get into this full complete training on how to make a YouTube video all using your iPad. Let's go.
You gotta just press record.
Hey, what's up? It's Omar Takori with Think Media, helping you build your influence on YouTube. And sometimes we do that with YouTube strategy videos, teaching you the best news and updates when it comes to YouTube and the back end of things, as well as full-blown tutorials like this, teaching you how to actually make YouTube videos. And we also talk about gear, best mics, best cameras, and things like that. And so if you're interested in that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But I'm so pumped to get into this because I love the iPad. I love that this is a device that you can do so many things with. And although people usually buy an iPad to stream your favorite shows or do your administrative tasks and write emails and things like that, it's a device that you can do so much when it comes to content creation, like photography, video, graphic design, and so much more. And so all that to say, regardless of what iPad you have, this video is for you and this training is for you. And I know you probably have a smartphone that you could be using, but it's awesome to have the screen real estate of an iPad, the amount of screen you have to edit and things like that. And so putting your iPad to use to create videos is gonna be a great investment that you're gonna make into your YouTube channel. And so with that being said, we're gonna get into the first segment of this training, and that is how to shoot a YouTube video using your iPad. Let's jump into it with tip number one, and that is finding your shot. Now, take your iPad or your tablet, put it on selfie mode, and use the screen to walk around your space, your office, or your home and find the best looking shot possible. I'm just using my office here, and the reality is I didn't like a certain way of how something looked, and by simply changing the angle in which I was shooting in, I found a much better looking shot. One thing I want to encourage you to take into consideration is just to make sure that there isn't too much clutter behind you. You definitely want a more clean shot, and you don't want to distract the viewer's attention from away from your face. So just make sure that you're picking more of a cleaner backdrop or background and that it's not all that cluttered. Tip two is the gear and setup. Now, if you are just getting started shooting videos with your iPad or your tablet, by all means, just get started. Use a stack of books to hold up your iPad if needed. Use a window light for lighting. But you don't have to break the bank when it comes to upgrading gear so that creating content is a lot easier and looks and sounds a lot better. The first thing I would recommend you looking into is a tripod. There's this $20 Amazon tripod that comes with a wireless Bluetooth remote. This makes it super easy to start and stop recording wirelessly, so you don't have to keep getting up and then hitting record and things like that. So that's really cool. The next piece of gear I would look to upgrading is your audio, and I recommend this $50 mic from Deity, which just clips onto your shirt and then plugs right into your iPad. Now, it is important to note that you do want to get the adapter, but this audio solution will make your videos sound so much better. Matter of fact, let's cut to a test right now. So this is the onboard mic test of the iPad 11 Pro. It's a little bit of an echoey room, but this is what you'd get straight off the bat if you're just getting started. Just get started and do a shot like this. But let's see how it sounds with this $50 upgrade with the Deity Lav. Now you're listening to the Deity VLav clipped onto my jacket. Huge audio difference. And let me know down in the comments below what you think and if this $50 mic sounds worth it for the upgrade. The next thing I would recommend you upgrading is your light. And the light we recommend is an awesome softbox that actually has the ability to dim and change color temperature with a wireless remote. Again, another piece of gear, making it much easy to just turn on the light and start recording and things like that. So make sure to check out the links down in the description below for all the gear when it comes to your YouTube studio setup around the iPad. Now, before I move on to the next tip, I want to encourage you with a few tips when it comes to filming with your iPad. The first is that straight out of the box, your iPad or your device probably isn't set to the best quality video possible. And so the way you're gonna do this is by going into your settings and simply changing it from 1080 to 4K, and I like using 24 frames per second. The next tip is to simply use the rear-facing camera on your device because it is the more superior camera and it's gonna give you a lot better of a video quality than the front selfie camera. On the iPad Pro, it doesn't allow you to actually shoot in 4K when using the selfie screen. But if you wanna see yourself while you're filming, go ahead and use the selfie camera anyway. I would just encourage always look into the lens when you're filming your videos because you wanna make direct eye contact with your viewers. Now the next tip is one of the most important tips because it can actually save you so much time, and that is to simply lock down your shot and take a test shot and test your audio, talk at the level you're gonna talk at, and just make sure it looks and sounds the way you want it to. I did a test shot just for the video that I'm creating, and I found that I didn't like where I was and also the mic placement as well. And so another thing you can actually look out for are things that in the background that maybe you don't want to be in the shot or what have you. But more than anything, just make sure you take that test shot, watch it back, hear it back, and then you'd be ready to go. And that now brings us to tip number 4, which is to shoot your video and deliver the content. Now, it's important to note that you should never just turn on the camera and just start talking. You should definitely research your video topic and title in YouTube and then create a script outline or an actual script if that's how you like it, so that when you're filming your video, you have less mistakes, making it even easier to edit and post. Specifically, the video that I am making on the iPad for my personal channel is 3 reasons why you need a prime lens for photography and videography. Now, I came with a script and I came ready with how I wanted the video to pan out. So once I actually shot my talking head portion, or what is called the A-roll, I then started to shoot B-roll so that when I talked about certain things, I can reference that footage to match what I'm saying. I actually got this super cool turntable from Amazon for under $25, and it just makes stationary footage a little bit more cool and cinematic, and I'm simply using that to demonstrate what it is I'm saying. If you wanna learn more about how to shoot and edit B-roll for your videos on YouTube, then you can check out a video I did. I'll post a link to it down in the description below. So that wraps up the first segment on how to shoot a YouTube video using your iPad. It's so important to note that the rear camera on your device is typically gonna be the more superior camera. And I'm sure, as time moves on, they will upgrade the camera that is the selfie cam, right? But it might as well use the best camera while you have it. And that goes to your smartphone as well. A lot of people don't know that, but I understand that it is nice to be able to see yourself. I'm just big on getting the best quality possible. And so I hope that video helped you, even in the idea of planning and prepping for B-roll and shooting supplemental footage that'll help your video. And all that to say, there's a comment in our community, Daniel Reamer, I think you say it, he says, one thing I noticed good YouTubers do is they change something on screen every few seconds. And that's the reality of the world we live in. Our retention is just going down a little bit more and more because of things like TikTok and now YouTube Shorts and things like that. But all that means is that we just need to be more intentional about each and every second of our videos, being able to show what we are talking about as much as we can. And if we don't have something to show, that we potentially use motion graphics or text on screen or what have you, something to switch up what somebody's watching, because nobody wants to just watch something for a really long time unless you're watching a full-blown training like this, right? And so if you're making 5-7 minute videos, you really want to think that through. Another question, this guy named Pipes, he asks, how do you expand the memory of your iPad? And the reality is you buy your iPad with a certain amount of allocated memory. I believe my iPad's about 256 gigabytes, and that's okay. That's a lot of gigabytes. However, if you're really gonna start creating content on this and you're gonna be editing, doing photos and things like that, I would recommend you investing into what you can get is called a solid state drive or an SSD. I love SSDs because they not only are super small and super fast, but they have no moving pieces inside of them, meaning there's less chances of it being able to fail. I've had multiple drives in the past, hard drives that have spinning disks, a little nerdy, but they have failed me in the past and I've lost files. Something like this is gonna be really nice and you could work off of it, which is super cool, but I would recommend on a workflow standpoint, potentially using all the storage on your iPad, and then when you're done with a project, offload it onto a drive, but by all means, you can work off a drive and edit off one. Specifically, a solid state drive is what I'd recommend, but I'll post links to everything down in the description below. And with that being said, let's move into the next portion of your YouTube video, which is creating your thumbnail. It's so important that you create a great thumbnail for your video, because if you make an awesome video, but your thumbnail doesn't lead me to want to click on it, then I'm probably not gonna watch your awesome video. And so let's get into tip number 1 on how to create a thumbnail using your iPad. But jumping into tip number one, it is so important that number one, you research your thumbnail before you actually start taking your thumbnail images. So I've actually typed in the title of my video or the general title of my video just to see what I'm working with. And this is just a good way to not only get inspiration, but number two, get an upper hand on the competitions. And what I mean by that is when I search my video title here, that I'm getting an idea of a thumbnail, but also how can I make it better? It's just a good way to do some research before you actually start shooting your photos. And the reality is you don't need to use an example from the actual search term. If you like certain YouTubers in other industries, you can also use inspiration from their thumbnails to actually inspire your thumbnail. Tip number two is to now shoot and edit your thumbnail. Once you got your inspiration, it's time to shoot it. Now, a few things when it comes to shooting it with your iPad or even your smartphone or what have you. I would say number one is to use a timer. Obviously if you're shooting yourself doing these thumbnails like I will be in this video, having the timer is super clutch. And I mentioned in the first video of this series that you can actually pick up a tripod for your iPad that comes with a Bluetooth remote, which is cool because now I can just throw on the 2-second or 3-second timer and then hit this and it'll take 3 seconds and I don't have to keep going back and forth to the camera. So that's super nice. The second thing is I want to encourage you to shoot your thumbnails in portrait mode, especially if you have products or your face that you're trying to pull attention to. The next power tip when it comes to shooting and editing your thumbnails is simply to just take multiple photos. Whether you're actually trying to take different types of thumbnails, in my case, I actually have 2 different concepts that I want to hit. One with my face with product, and then the other one that's actually like a literal example of what the video is about. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. But just keep that in mind. You don't want to go into the editing flow of things when it comes to your thumbnail and then you wish you took more photos. Because the reality is when you have your lights and all your gear set up, you just want to get everything out of the way so that you can just focus on editing. All right, so this is what I see in selfie mode when I'm on my iPad. One thing I learned about portrait mode is that it's only accessed through the selfie camera, but I just wanted to show the difference real quick. So this is me in the regular photo kind of mode. Now when I tap over to portrait, now I get that blurry background. And a few things about the portrait mode's blurry background. You can actually lessen it by clicking this F right here on the top right of the screen and increasing the number that's next to F. This will either make your background less blurry or more blurry. The lower the number, the more blur, as in this is 1.8. That's just gnarly, right? The next thing is to use your timer. So if you wanted to use your timer, you can actually click the little watch on the top and you can use 3 or 10 seconds. So when you're actually getting ready, you can just tap it, count down to 3, 2, 1, and then it takes a photo. What's also cool is I mentioned that this tripod comes with a Bluetooth remote, so you can actually be hands-free if I needed to back up or if I didn't want to keep having to run up to my iPad. I can literally hit the remote and it'll start the timer and I can take my picture. Just like that. So that's a little quick mini tutorial on the portrait mode on the iPad. I think it's super cool that the selfie camera is the portrait mode camera. Another thing I want you to keep in mind when taking your photo using the selfie camera is to make sure you're looking at the lens and not yourself. If you're taking that photo and you're looking at yourself, your eyes are gonna be away from the viewer rather than looking at them. So that's just something to keep in mind to make sure you do. Now for the first thumbnail concept, I'm actually just gonna be holding up 2 lenses and then looking at one of the cameras and also changing my expression. But for the sake of having a plain background, I don't need to use my portrait mode. And so I'm actually just gonna turn off portrait mode and just take a few pictures using it this way. All right, so we have taken multiple photos for our thumbnail and now it's time to edit it. But if you're getting value in this video, let me know by hitting that like button. And I just wanted to let you know about our sponsors, and that is Think Media. Yes, we're sponsoring our own video because I wanted to let you know that you could use our channel to help you grow with creating content for YouTube, whether it's actually growing your subscribers, learning audio, lighting, or even the best settings for your camera. You can use our YouTube channel and just hit the search bar and search whatever it is you need. Now, as far as editing the thumbnail on the iPad, the first thing I actually do is just make a few tweaks to the photo I want to use using the photo app that comes with your iPad. And so just simply tweaking a few things like saturation, brightness, sharpness, clarity, and things like that. Just kind of make the photo pop a little bit more. And it also gives me that place to like really decide what photo I want to use for my thumbnail. But as far as the software we're going to use, we're actually going to use Canva, which is a free application that you can download, and they have awesome stuff. One thing I love about Canva is that number one, it's free, and then number two, that they actually have templates for you to use when it comes to creating YouTube thumbnails. And then you can simply select one that you kind of like the vibe on. Another thing, you can add photos, elements to your thumbnail. You can add text and things like that. But on the bottom left, you can see that there's camera roll. And so you can access the photos in your camera roll. And we're just gonna select this one photo. I actually like my expression on this. And as you can see, I kind of tweaked it. But as far as like resizing and things like that, it's so simple. Just literally resize it by pinching your fingers. And then I'm gonna add this arrow. So I'm gonna go into elements and add this arrow and then point. So I wanna point more attention to the lens, and you can simply flip the arrow around and then click and drag. And if you wanna make things bigger or smaller, just squeeze like you would think you need to squeeze. And then you can simply change the color, and that already is looking good. Now I just wanna add some text to this thumbnail. So we're gonna first add a box. So I just got a box from the elements, changed it to the color black, and then we're gonna add what this video is. I'm just gonna put kit versus prime, because people already are probably searching that it's for lenses, and you can see lenses in the photo. So you don't have to be too repetitive in that sense, but just put the text where you like it, how you like it, and then make the tweaks necessary, and then simply save your design, and you're ready to go. Canva is one of the best resources I can recommend for any creator and even human being. I mean, I've been able to use Canva to create, presentations. I've also used it to do a little bit of graphic stuff for emails and things like that. But it's really just a resource that makes it easy to step into a little bit of graphic design. And I think if you can click and drag and do a few things, you can make awesome things on Canva. And so I'm grateful for Canva. Let me know down in the comments below how you create thumbnails, or how you used to create thumbnails, or how you're gonna create thumbnails down in the comments. Would love to hear from you. And with that being said, now that we've completed our thumbnail, now that we got our thumbnail done, ready to be used, it is time to edit our video. Now, this could probably be the most daunting task in the video creation process, but I do think that with some time and a little bit of effort, you will grow and get better as an editor. And for the most part, I don't think you ever have to get complexed when it comes to editing. And that's what I love about this application, Lumafusion. And it's the #1 application I would recommend when it comes to editing with your iPad. It's a one-time purchase of about $25 or $30, and you don't have to hop into a subscription, or you won't get hit with anything later, but it's a one-time buy of around $25. And it has a lot of pro features, but is really intuitive in the use of touch screen and things like that. And so all that to say, this segment I know is gonna help you, and be sure to listen closely to everything I mentioned in this, because afterwards I have a little bonus section where I'm gonna show you how to make a intro bumper and your social media handle, kind of like what you're seeing right now on the screen. And it's really easy, but it also is in using Lumafusion. And so all that to say, let's hop into how to edit using your iPad. So let's jump right into step #1, and that is trimming down the fluff. Now, this is probably the longest part of the editing process, because you're really taking your one video clip or your multiple video clips and you're condensing it down to its main core. And so generally speaking, when you film yourself, the last take is usually the best take. And so if I'm editing backwards, I'm usually catching the best take of a portion in my video. Therefore, I can delete anything that comes in front of that when it comes to that portion of the video. Step #2 is adding assets to your edit. And now what I mean by assets are things like B-roll or supplementary footage, titles, your YouTube intro, and music, and things like that. Because I had my points written out on my phone prior to shooting the video, I was able to create moving titles, as well as my social media handles and things like that, with an app called Mojo. And I actually have a few tutorials on this app, and you can check those out after you check out this video on the end screen. but nonetheless, adding these elements to your video will actually make it look a lot more professional. As far as adding music to your video, the biggest thing you want to keep in mind is to make sure that it doesn't overpower what it is you're saying. So simply turning down the music anytime you have music in your video is super key. Now, when it comes to adding B-roll on top of your footage, really the main thing to think about is to just make sure it makes sense. You don't want random clips showing when you're talking about something else. And so when I shoot my B-roll, I actually use my script to kind of give me a shot list. And I actually have another tutorial on how to shoot B-roll, and you can check that out at the end card at the end of this video as well. But just keep that in mind when you're adding B-roll to your clips. Step number 3 is kind of optional, but that is adding effects to your video and audio. And I used a lavalier mic, a fairly inexpensive lavalier mic, for this video shot on my iPad, and I just simply added a high pass filter to make it sound a little more normal. And then as far as effects on my video, simply I just do some micro adjustments like increasing the contrast, adding some sharpness, maybe adjusting the white balance a little bit and cooling it off. But more than anything, this is optional. If you like how your video looks and sounds already, don't worry about this step. Step number 4 is really important, and that is to watch back your footage from start to finish to find any mistakes or anything you missed when it came to cutting, titles, and things like that. You wanna look out for maybe some mistakes that you might have missed when you were trimming down the fluff of the video and things like that. But this step kind of reminds me when I used to go to school and I was writing essays and papers, and you would write your essay, turn in the paper without even reading it, and then you'd get it back and get all these dings that you would have caught if you just read it through. Like, why did I even word it that way? But similarly, you want to avoid making edits after you have uploaded your video on YouTube and exported, which is step number 5, and that is exporting your video. So once you've watched back your video and your titles are all spelled right and things are looking good, it's time to export. And really, the main thing is to make sure you have your settings right when it comes to exporting. Nowadays, most editing apps and softwares, when you get to this point, just reference your timeline settings to export your video. And so for the most part, you don't have to worry about it too much. It is important to note that YouTube gives you the best recommended settings when it comes to exporting. And we'll post links to that recommendation down in the description below if you want to check that out. But on Lumafusion, you simply hit the send button and then it saves to your photos. If you're using a laptop or desktop, make sure you select the proper folder where you want your final video to be, because you don't want to export your video and it's gone and you lost it and now you have to do it again. And so just make sure you stay organized when it comes to this process. That wasn't so crazy, right? I mean, if you just follow this step by step, I'm sure you can edit your videos as well. And if it even flew over your head, save this video and reference this training later down the road as you need it. And all that to say, I think it's just something that you just need to keep doing to get better at. And I promise you will get better at it as long as you keep doing it. Now, if you have gotten value in this video up to this point, let me know by hitting that like button. Thank you so much. If you haven't already hit it, just hit the like button real quick. Now, I just wanted to take a moment and talk about our free 1-hour YouTube training, and that could be found at thinkmasterclass.com. In this training, you'll learn how you can actually make a part-time and full-time income on YouTube and without a big audience. You know, Sean Cannell, the starter of Think Media and the CEO of Think Media, started this channel and he went full-time on YouTube with just 15,000 subscribers. A lot of people would tell you, I don't know how he did that, and that's what we share in this 1-hour training. So check out that training at thinkmasterclass.com. And now, this question that came in from Amy Johnson, she asked, what is your favorite desktop editor? I know this is an iPad video, but there was just a lot of people that asked this question, although we are using an iPad, because maybe you want to grow into that next software. Personally, for me, I like using Adobe Premiere Pro. I kind of just got exposed to it when I was in high school, and I've just stuck with it. Now, you know, at the time of shooting this video, about 15 years using Adobe Premiere Pro. All that to say, I think Lumafusion has literally created itself after Adobe Premiere. And so that's why I actually love Lumafusion, is because it has so many likings of Adobe Premiere Pro. And all that to say, that's the software I use. But everyone at Think Media uses different softwares, and so it's really important that you just find the right software for you. Now, let's get into this next section of this training. And you know, speaking of Adobe Premiere Pro, they have another app called Adobe After Effects. This is a motion graphics software that you can learn how to do crazy fly-ins and intros and, you know, motion graphics, you know, and things like that. But I found an app that you can use on your iPad on how you can create your social media handles as well as your YouTube bumper. And if you want to keep it free, it's doable. But if you also want to, you know, pay the membership or what have you, you get more features. But I teach you how to actually do some of this stuff for free. So keep that locked. I think this is gonna be my favorite part of this training, and make sure you watch it because it's incredible to be able to brand your YouTube videos with some pro level things like this. Let's go. Now, creating an intro bumper or a logo stinger is really cool because not only does it separate your intro from the content of your video, but it also just brands your videos and brands your channel. And so having one is really cool. Definitely want to keep it really short, super simple, maybe just show people your logo so when they see it more often, they can recognize it. And here at Think Media, we've gone through several intros over the years, and we've really dialed into our current one, which you saw right after the intro, and that was actually custom built. Now, you can actually use a million different ways to actually land on a bumper. You can go on Fiverr.com and hire somebody to do it for you. You can download a software like Adobe After Effects and download a template from the internet, but a lot of the times those ways could be either costly and or you know, maybe you're not getting what you want. So let's jump right into it. So go to your app store for whatever device you have and download the app Mojo Insta Story Editor. So this is a really cool app that generates motion, text and things like that. But like any other app, you know, the free version is very limiting. If you were to pay maybe the $10 per month or the $40 for the year, you would get a lot more features and it'd be a lot easier to use, especially for editing video. In this example, I'm gonna show you how you can do this with the free version. But hey, I didn't tell you this, but maybe you can just spend the $10 for the 1 month, get your YouTube bumper done, get your, you know, social media done, and then cancel it. But I didn't tell you that didn't come from me because that's not stealing. But anyways, you're gonna now open up the app once it's downloaded. And as you can see, there's just these awesome templates that you can make for Instagram stories or Facebook stories or whatever. But definitely the orientation is for the phone. Now, like I said before, if you get the pro version, you can easily change all these orientation to landscape instead of portrait. But for the sake of it being free and this being a free tutorial, we're gonna make this, you know, happen. So for this example, I am going to be using this showcase template right here. As you can see, it's meant for the smartphone or for like stories, but we're gonna change that. The first step is to get the picture that I wanna use. You can use your logo, you can use a photo. I'm gonna use a photo. But if you notice, my photo is not oriented correctly. I need the photo to aim, you know, rotate to the right. So I'm actually gonna hop into my photos and then I'm just going to rotate this photo to the right. And then once it's saved, the big idea is that it's angled in the way that you're gonna actually upload it. So if you see it, I'm gonna delete it here. And then now you can see that it's sideways, boom. And so I definitely want it that way. And obviously a lot of this is more customizable if I have the paid version or if you sign up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually, I'm gonna move this new track to this side, okay. And I'm gonna just delete this one. And then I'm gonna put this one over here. And I'm kind of just making a mock one for Think Media. So I'm gonna type in online video. And then on this one, I'm gonna put tips and tools. Boom. So it's already kind of coming together. Sweet. And then the next thing I actually want to add is actually our YouTube itself. So I'm just going to hit the plus button on the right. I'm going to add a text. And as you can see all the various custom ways that you can, you know, make a title move. You can have captions here that are motion, obviously limited because if you're not on Pro, but there's just so many different things that you can mess with in regards to making an intro or even a title. And we have a video at that, and we have a video on that, but you can check that out in the description below or in the YouTube card. But I'm gonna hit the YouTube icon and then just throw this guy right underneath the photo. Want to center it, okay. And then let's put Think Media. Think Media. And then what we can do is actually change the font. I'm gonna change the font right down here. And there's so many customizable things, even with the free version. But all that to say, it's looking pretty good. I like it. I think the only thing I want to do is I want Think Media to show up last. I want tips and tools to show up before that. So what you can do is you can go to timing, and then I'm gonna hit manual, and then I want tips and tools to come first, think media to come next. So it's like online video, tips and tools. And so let's see how that looks once I hit the I button. Online video, tips and tools, think media. I'm just gonna save it to my photos and by hitting the save button, and then save video. And let's just double check it's in the photos, and there you have it, you can see. So here you can actually rotate it now, rotate it back to the way you want it. So I'm just gonna rotate it to the left. And once the video is oriented and ready to be put into your timeline, you can now Dropbox it to yourself. You can Google Drive it to yourself, but for this example, I'm actually just gonna use Lumafusion. This is an awesome editing app. If you're editing on your smartphone or on a tablet, this is the best app. It's 30 bucks and it does everything you need it to do. But I'm just gonna find the place right after this intro for where the bumper should go. So let's get after it. And then I'm gonna slice, I'm gonna delete, and then I'm gonna go into the photos, see how the intro is right here, throw it right after that clip, and let's see how it goes. Your smartphone or a tablet, so let's get after it. Boom, intro bumper just like that for free. Now, like I said before, if you get the pro version, you can easily change all these orientation to landscape instead of portrait. But for the sake of it being free and this being a free tutorial, we're gonna make this happen. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually click on this Indonesia template right over here. And as you can see, it has the word Indonesia and the ultimate travel guide. I'm just gonna click and delete. It's super easy to use. I'm gonna click Indonesia, and that's why I'm gonna actually put my social media handle. So I'm actually just gonna put @ Omar El Tak Rory. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you better hit that. Follow me on Instagram if you wanna be cool. Anyway, so what's so cool is if I hit this bottom button to the left and hit style, you can see all the various ways that you can, select your name to be shown up, or if you're just doing titles and stuff like that. So many cool creative things, but like I mentioned before, the pro versions are withheld unless you tap into pro. But if you tap on the top where it says social, you can see all the different social media icons, and many times you're just promoting your Instagram or what have you. And so there is a free version for every single icon, and it's the basic one on the top left. And so I'm just gonna select this one, and then I'm actually gonna change my font to what we like doing here at Think Media, which is heavy italic. And then simply rotating this text to now turn it to the side so we can get the most size out of this thing, so it's not pixelated when we add it to our thing. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is get a green colored picture. Just go to Google, search the word green, and just download the first green thing that shows up into your photos, and then that's gonna be the background of this title. So now that I have the green ready to go, my name is spelled correctly, I'm just gonna simply save this title. So I'm gonna hit save, and then save it down below into my photos. Now, if you are now going to wanna throw this into your computer or your laptop, obviously if you're using a Mac, I would airdrop it to your Mac. If not, you can Dropbox it, you can email it, Google Drive. There's a million ways that you can do this. But for this example, I'm gonna show you on my favorite editing software for phones and tablets. And so if you are looking for a good one, I would encourage you to go for Lumafusion. Lumafusion is a $30 one-time buy of an app, and it's very similar to the expensive apps out there like Adobe and Final Cut. And they have a ton of features that those other apps do offer. So check out Lumafusion if you haven't already. So I'm just gonna start a new project right here, and let's just call it title. And then we're gonna add a video into this project, and I got this video ready to go. And so I'm just gonna find the good point where I want it to come up, which is like a good spot right here. And then the next thing you're gonna add is the actual clip that you saved out of Mojo, which should be in your photos. And so I'm just gonna drag that on the timeline, and there it is. So the next thing we're gonna do is edit this title. So I'm just gonna double tap, and I'm actually just going to shrink it first. Let's shrink it, then I'm gonna rotate it to like 90 degrees, and then kind of put it where I want to put it, which is like right there is a good spot. And then the next thing is just crop out the white borders. Just want to, and just make sure the only thing that you can see is green. And so just gonna crop all that, and you can do this on any editing software that you have by using a crop effect. The next thing we're gonna do is use a green screen effect or key out the green. So I'm just gonna hop over here, and then literally with a click of a button, it does it for me. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. But if I back up, and now we see, press the space bar, you could see it come, and it's super cool, super clean. Now, you could totally end there, and if you're getting value at this point, hit the like button for me. Thank you so much. But I really like it when titles actually leave the same way they come in, and so I'm simply going to just copy and paste the title, and this time though, I'm gonna reverse the second one and just let it play backwards. And so, I mean, on Lumafusion, you literally just go here, hit reverse. If you're using Premiere Pro or whatever, right click the clip and just flip it backwards. Maybe this is a good moment to tell you about Google. And if you have a question about something, YouTube or Google it, and you can probably find that answer. But as you can see, I'm just gonna trim it down a little bit because it doesn't need to be the same length. But if I drag this to the end of the first one, now you can see my thing comes up, my Instagram handle, and then it then goes out the same way it came in. Super clean, and you're ready to pro level up your video edits. How awesome is that Mojo app? Man, when I used to watch videos when I was younger and I saw motion graphics on the screen kind of like that, kind of like thirds and things, I was like, man, how do they do that? Like, how do people build this stuff out? I have no idea. And I've just learned more than anything as I've been in this world that a lot of the times it's templates. It's kind of like things that are done for you, or you can, hire it out or what have you. But it's so nice that Mojo makes it super easy to create these things. And I like doing them actually for like title screens too. Creating moments where I mention a tip, and then on the screen, something comes up with a little bit of motion, going back to what I mentioned earlier in this training about how you want to keep the viewer engaged, and anytime you can add motion to the screen, whether it is B-roll or a title screen. So shout out to Mojo for being awesome. I think it's worth it if you do sign up for it, and specifically if you want to take YouTube seriously. And so make sure to check out Mojo. Now we're gonna put everything we have just done, we're gonna put it together. Keep it locked for this. This is really important because it's important that you optimize your video. It's important that you don't just leave your description box empty and your title and stuff like that. And so I've found ways that will make it helpful for you to really fill those things out and make sure that your video is ready to be published. So let's go into uploading your video and uploading your thumbnail to YouTube. The first step to uploading a YouTube video using your smartphone or tablet onto YouTube is by downloading the 2 apps necessary. The first one is the YouTube app, the app that you use to watch videos and things like that. The second app you're gonna wanna download is the YouTube Studio app, and this is very important because you need to edit your description and things like that. Now the next step is to prepare your 2 files, and the 2 files you need ready to go is your video file that you're gonna upload, and then your thumbnail. Once you have your finalized video and thumbnail ready to go, before uploading, we really encourage you that you open up your Notepad app or your notes in your phone or tablet and start writing out your title. Make sure you have your title ready to be copy and pasted, and then make sure you write out your description. It's really important to just have the necessary links and things like that ready to go so that you don't have to type it in yourself, and you can just take the time to do that prior to uploading. So we're gonna start by opening up our YouTube app and then hitting the plus button right in the middle of the screen, and then you have the option to do video, live, and post. I'm gonna go ahead and hit video. Then you're just gonna select the video you want to upload and then hit next. Now you can trim the beginning and the end. Let's say you don't even wanna edit your videos and you just wanna talk straight to the camera and then just cut the beginning and the end of your video, you can do that. But for this case, I'm just gonna hit next on my iPad, and then I'm gonna scroll. Now we're going to refer back to our notes. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the title of my video, paste it onto my title, go back in and grab my description. And this is just things we encourage to do prior to you actually uploading your video, because now it's making it a lot easier. You wanna make sure that this is set to private or unlisted. If you set it to public, it's just gonna go straight up and you don't wanna do that. So we're gonna just keep it on private. You then have the option to add it to a playlist if that makes sense for your channel. And then you're gonna be ready to upload this video. So then once everything is kind of set, we're gonna hit next. And then it's gonna ask us if this is made for kids or not. This is not made for kids. And then hit upload. Now that the video has been completed uploading, it's time to add our thumbnail. And so now we're gonna hop into the YouTube Studio app, go under your videos, click on the video that you just uploaded, and then you're gonna hit this pencil on the top right of your screen, and then actually hit the pencil again on the video itself. And now we're gonna upload our thumbnail by clicking custom thumbnail and then selecting the thumbnail we want that we've previously created, and then hit select. The next step is to add tags to your videos. And so if you scroll down, you'll see that there's a section to add tags, and then you're just gonna start to begin adding tags on your video. And I don't wanna get too deep into this. If you wanna learn about tagging and how to position your video well, you wanna check out our free 1-hour YouTube Masterclass, and that it can be found at thinkmasterclass.com. We'll post links down in the description below, but we'll teach you how to actually use YouTube to create a part-time or full-time income if that's something you so desire. So make sure you check out that free 1-hour training down in the description below, or just go to thinkmasterclass.com. Now, once you're done adding the necessary tags, it's time to schedule your video to release or just make public. And so just gonna scroll down to where it says private, and then you have the option to just hit public, which is one way you can do it, or you can hit scheduled and schedule your video to drop at a specific time and date. And this is just an awesome feature YouTube gives that allows you to simply set your video to drop at a specific time. And we encourage to really drop videos consistently on your channel. And so if that's like every Wednesday at 6 a.m. or every Friday at 9 a.m., then you can set it up regardless of what day it is to be able to do that. Wow, you did it. You made it through this entire training on how to make a YouTube video all using your iPad. I think you are future-proofing yourself, because I think more and more people are going to start using their devices to shoot, edit, and do all their content creation, because the camera sometimes can just be a lot. And I understand that, but you've watched this video up to this point, and now you're ready to go and make your YouTube videos. Let me know down in the comments below what your YouTube channel is about and what video do you plan on making next. Put it in the comments so that you can hold yourself accountable and so that I can hold you accountable. And be sure to check out that training I mentioned earlier at thinkmasterclass.com and learn about how you can actually create a legit business around your YouTube channel, even if you haven't even uploaded a video yet. I'm so grateful that you would join and you would stick with me up to this point. And if you wanna check out a YouTube video on some video ideas that can help your YouTube channel, click or tap the screen. And I can't wait to see you in a future video. Peace.